Okay. So let's play some match. Do you need some warm up? We can warm
No, I
up
think I'm
as
okay.
well. No worries. Is it
I did
really?
have I did have two. I did a little bit on the ball machine. Do you want to warm up?
No, that for me is okay. I was playing the ball machine too. Just trying to check my table.
I have two questions.
Yes, please.
So I was watching a little bit of Pro TT and Ifaton
Yeah,
playing practice matches,
yeah,
and I noticed two things. One is most of the time when they're returning their serves, like on the return,
yeah,
they're almost always really simple to me. Like, it looks like they're really simple. Like, I understand they're countering whatever
yeah.
spin, but especially Ifaton, most of the time it's something like this or like this. It's not, if it goes
Nothing
long,
fancy.
maybe they'll do this, but I'm like,
Yeah,
that kind of makes a lot of sense to be, and I know they're putting quality on it, but it looks
yeah,
like, very simple stuff.
yeah,
I don't know. I just thought, like, am I seeing that right? Like, I know they know the spin and they're doing the right thing, but
yeah,
in general, do you want to keep it a simple, very simple move and not try
yeah.
and
Yeah,
do risky
technically,
things?
but because technically there's no reason to make it too fancy or too complex. Because basically we have a backspin serve that you go under the ball, place short or place long, but it's very simple, straightforward. Even if it's combined with a little bit of a backspin, sorry, with a little bit of a side spin, still you can go in the middle of the ball and just place it short and heavy. So this is very simple, right? Uh, if the serve is dead, you have two options. You can still go down, like not under the ball, but in the middle. But it's very simple to try to place it short or maybe long, but with the backspin. But the second option would be maybe like flipping this ball, which is okay, which is also quite simple. You don't doesn't need to be tricky. And you have the third serve. So you have backspin serve, dead serve, and you have side spin serve. If it's short, if you go in the middle of the ball like center and just like play simple, straight, slightly up just to get over the net, just like the dead ball, just slightly up. The flick is also very, very simple. I mean, technically, it's more like timing. Like let's say if you even if you serve side spin, if I'm late, I'm not flicking this ball. If I'm late for some reason or out of position, my body's far from the ball, I'm gonna use straight down like this just to keep it backspin and try to keep as low as I can, maybe short, maybe long, it depends. But then I have more time to step back and recover and try to block or attack or whatever. But if you are out of position and you flick the ball is gonna come back to you faster, so you have less time to
Yeah.
recover. Is good because maybe this flick like takes your opponent out of position, takes it by surprise, maybe depending on the case. But if your opponent is on top of the ball there, you have less time to recover. So you have to think about that when you're flicking a ball. But in general, it's very simple actually.
Well, what I thought was interesting was, you know, they. I guess at the end of the day, there wasn't a lot of risk taking. Like, I feel like a lot of times if a guy
Exactly.
hits me kind of a higher, I'm not what I'm doing. I'll try and like shoot it to the, I'll try and do an aggressive shot that
Yeah.
I may or may not be successful. But
Yeah.
they didn't seem like they were doing hardly any aggressive
Yeah.
shots, just
But then
like
there's yeah.
clean,
But then there's
you
something
know.
that you should consider. First, it
Yeah,
was a casual like training matches.
yeah.
So you don't need to force much. You want more exchanges. But in this particular case, ProTT and Ifaton, they don't play very fancy short the short game. They're very simple because ProTT is a looper. He likes attacking first, stepping back and exchanging loops. And
Mhm.
Ifaton is more like a defending loop player, like defender
Yeah.
slash looper. So he doesn't need to play like very fancy because he has good defense. If he gives you a ball like this, he blocks the first one, step back, and stay the whole day here, like keeping the ball on the table. So they both play similar in terms of uh, not changing much. They like top spin. Protiti more aggressively, Ifaton more like defending and counterattacking when he has a chance. That's why if you watch those two playing, and they are used to each other because I I guess they
Yeah.
played like 1,000 matches already, like for years they're playing this, and there's a lot of exchanging, a lot of long rallies because they both like playing long rallies. Protiti would love to finish the point earlier because he spends more energy attacking, and Ifaton wants to keep the ball on the table a little bit longer, waiting for a chance for your opponent to either make a mistake or giving him some opportunities to counterattack. So they don't play. They are not short game players. If you see Antu, for example, or Netping, even Hurricane, they like changing a little bit more. They play with more precision. Maybe they care more about the short game because it's
Yeah.
more like their style, you know. And but you're not wrong when you say like, oh, maybe the ball is a little bit higher, something like that. You wanna like just force it more, do something better with that. That's okay. That's okay. But you have to, you need the control for that. You
Right.
cannot give your opponent a free point just because you're forcing too much something. Then it's better just play simple, and And
Yeah.
if you think about those two again, uh, they don't have problems with attack and defending
Yeah.
against each other. For example, if Protiti will play someone like maybe Shane, maybe even Hurricane, someone like more powerful than Ifaton. Ifaton is more like a control player. He has power for sure, but he needs time for that. But someone like Shane or Hurricane, they produce power, they generate power faster. They're better on that. So then you have to be more careful on the short game. Otherwise, if you give your opponent a too easy shot, then you have
Yeah.
problems blocking. Ifaton doesn't have problems blocking with most of the players, probably none of them. So he doesn't need to be very precise and he doesn't need to take risks on the short game. Even passing some, if it's low enough, even passing some dead pushes sometimes to change the spin or giving some like really good opportunities on the forehand side for the opponents because he can handle and he can keep the ball on the table. So it's a different style. We cannot do that probably
Yeah.
just not as good as he does.
Well,
So
let
that's it.
me ask the other one. So the camera was behind Pro TT, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but Ifaton is getting a little more aggressive with his
I
ground
didn't
strokes.
watch. Yeah, I didn't watch. So
Well,
yeah.
like maybe the last few months, like he's definitely every once in a while he actually really attack
Yeah.
one. So they were getting in these rallies where Ifaton would start attacking, and I noticed that Pro TT almost waited for the ball to come to him and block. He had a lot of blocks like this, like
Yeah.
you know,
Away from the
he
table.
wasn't here. He wasn't here
Right.
doing this.
Yeah.
He was here. He was blocking okay, or even some that just he didn't even do anything and just bounced off. And he was
Yeah.
blocking pretty well, but it made me think like I'm always trying to meet the ball. I'm always out trying to because I think I'm not going to have time, so I'm always going to it. Like, should I be a
Yeah.
little more back here?
No, it's two different situations. If we play the short game and someone is about to take the initiative and attack, your opponent's going to attack. Uh, in general, because it's a backspin ball, he's not going to attack with a lot of speed. It's going to be more like a higher arc, short loop, more control. Then, if you wait for this shot, you have some problems timing it. Then you should block the first one close to the table. Go if you have time to go towards the ball, do it. Unless your opponent is attacking this backspin ball with not much topspin, it's more like a kind of a flat ball. Then you can wait. You can even spin on top of this. right? If you want like counter-attacking loop against loop situation. But the first block should be close to the table if your opponent is attacking a backspin ball. But let's say if I give it to you some dead backspin, I can step back because your ball is gonna travel longer, deeper on my table because it's not a heavy backspin. So if you don't play heavy backspin and your opponent is attacking, you don't need to block the first one close to the table. It's actually harder to block close to the table because you have less time to react. The ball is going to be faster than spinny, you know, if that makes sense. And then you step back and you block. And after the first block, let's say the first block close to the table, after that, you have to step back because the next shot will be faster and you need more time to react. You don't need to step that much back as Ifaton does. It's a different situation. But if you want to block someone with some power, like attacking, even when your shots are powerful, you know, you can generate a lot of power. If I'm playing you, I block if I send you some really heavy backspin and you attack, the first one I'll try to control close to the table because it's easier. Immediately after that, I'm stepping back and blocking at least from like one good arm from the table, at least. You know, and because it's just easier and you don't need to control that much spin. If the ball is faster, you can open the angle more. You don't need, the ball is not gonna go, it's not gonna fly that crazy as it would with a slow short topspin. And especially in VR, the slow topspin, if you wait, if you step back, the ball just falls in front of you very quick. The physics are not perfect for that. In real life, you can still wait and control, and the ball loses the spin as long as the ball travels. So if you block here, let's say it's 120 spin in real life, and if you block here is maybe 100, and if you block close to the floor here is like 80 spin, let's say, I don't know, the ball loses rotation. But here in VR it's going to be the same, so you rather take it off the bounce as much as you can. It's easier to control, and then after that you can step back and block. That's okay.
Well, what I was thinking is, because there's a lot of times where I think I'm going to hit a better shot than I do, and I realize, like, if I'm playing someone good, they're gonna start attacking me, and so I'll jump back and I'll be probably like right here, but I almost always try and cut the ball off. And should I be blocking like this here, or should I be blocking more back? You know, giving myself a little more time and back.
It depends, but you can if the ball is really fast, you don't need to take in front of you that much. You can wait. But of course, as long as if you wait longer, you give your opponent more time, and then you have to control the arc. You cannot block from here waiting longer and block some high balls like this. It's going to be easier for your opponent. So of course, if you take earlier, you can control the height, let's say, so you can send it lower block. But it really depends. It really depends how comfortable you feel and how fast this ball is.
When you're playing someone, so I was playing that Lahu guy, the Chinese guy, and I beat him twice.
That's good.
And I had a really good couple days of sort of really looking at the ball, especially in my ground strokes, and really focusing on that moment of impact where I either hit normal or I can really crank it if I'm in position. But my question is, I've been playing a lot of these guys that are really good loops, but not really powerful. Like, they don't blow you off the table. They don't hit tons of winners. But when you play someone like that, they're good. But do you, because they're not hitting it, 20 meters a second. This might be like 17 or something. Do you not ever go back really far? Do you kind of just stop maybe here because it's not gonna overpower you? You just know it's gonna be good, like, quality.
you have to think that you want to be closer to the table as much as you can. You only step away from the table if you need, and as much as you need. So if you're playing someone really powerful, maybe blocking around here is going to be hard. Maybe you have to step even more away,
Yeah.
you know. But if you play, and even like, let's say we are playing short game, I attack first. If I attack with a lot of spin, immediately I'm waiting for your block to be like faster and deeper here. So I'm automatically stepping back a little bit to buy myself more time and space to keep attacking. But let's say you are a kind of player that always block this ball very slowly. After realizing that, after a few shots, you're always blocking slowly. I'm too far from the table. I have to start attacking the first ball and stay where I am, close to the table, because it's easier. So you have to adjust how far you are from the table according to what your opponent gives to you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know. So if you play someone like really spinny but very short spin all the time, good control but very, if you back up too much, if you step back too much, you're gonna have problems controlling.
Do you step back very far when you're playing Tege?
Not much. No, not much.
Okay.
I mean, I
Yeah.
cannot stay too close in general. I didn't play him that much, and it's a long time I don't
Okay.
play him. But in general, because his attacks are not very speedy, but it's faster, I step back a little bit, but I try more to like counterattack more than blocking,
Yeah.
because blocking a straight, like a flat shot is, you end up being too passive. It would be the same deal. It's equally hard to me to block his shot or just wait for his shot the same way and use a little bit of a spin on top of the ball just to make it harder for him to the idea is keeping him away from the table as much as I can. You know,
Yeah.
I step back when I'm attacking against him, probably more because he also puts some pressure in the blocking most of the time. So I need some space for that, but not much actually. Not much. A more powerful player would require that to be further back to keep attacking or even defending.
Yeah.
It depends. You have to find that zone where you feel comfortable.
Because some players like him, I feel like I get a good play on the blocks, or anyone who puts a lot of spin on it. I feel like I get good plays. Like I'm not flailing. I like, you know, I block, but it goes out, or it's just not like I'm not blocking correctly, but I'm there. Like I'm, you know, I have a good play on it. But I
Yeah.
don't know, like maybe if I'm here, my play is a little more higher odds of going in against those players that are, you know.
Yeah. The idea is staying close to the table as much as you can and finding the time to be aggressive every time you can. And then according to that, you have to find the perfect spot. And if you can use your wrist on top of the ball to make it more dangerous, do it. Otherwise, just block. Or maybe if you
Yeah.
can step closer a little bit more when you're attacking or blocking, that you have to feel. It depends on how your opponent plays.
Yeah, the guys I've been playing in the last week, I've been blocking well, but I'll find that I block the first one kind of weak, and I'm like, why am I blocking so weak? And then maybe I put a little bit of punch on the next one, but then a lot of
Yeah.
times I'm like, I can just hit them, like,
Yeah. If
sometimes
there's
guys,
not, yeah, if
yeah,
there's not a lot of spin, you can.
yeah.
You don't need to block. You can block. That's okay. But if you can spin on top of it,
But it's
even better.
finding that it's finding the right strategy for that, because
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I do. And yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to just play according to your opponent. You have to be smart enough to find the perfect spot for you to be comfortable.
Because some of these guys I'm blocking and I realize I don't need to be blocking like that and that weakly, and then even if I'm back here, I'll take a swing at it, and it really messes them up because they're not expecting a heavy
Exactly. If
fastball
the ball
coming
is
back.
not powerful enough and you can do that, it's even better
Yeah,
than blocking, right? And
yeah,
if you're blocking too slow, in general, either the attack was not very spinny, because the block is gonna use your opponent's energy,
yeah,
right? So either there's no energy on the ball, it's more like a flat ball, and you don't need to attack, you can spin on top of it, or you're late. Every time you're late for blocking a spinny ball, it tends to block slower, and then your opponent has more time to keep attacking.
yeah.
One of those two situations, probably, right? Okay, let's play a little bit. Let's see how it goes, and then if you need, we stop to
I see that you're
discuss.
1500, so I'm going to take it pretty easy on you.
Yeah, just please don't force too much. Don't scare me.
All
Okay,
fast
let's go.
serves, all fast serves.
Let's go. Good.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. This is You know what to do, right? You have to cover the diagonal, yeah, because you're
I
calling
thought
this. You're
I
forcing
thought
me.
I thought I hit a really quality shot, and so
Yeah, it was good, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna miss completely. And it doesn't mean if it was a bad shot, I could counter this down the line, for example. If you think you hit a good shot and your opponent just counterattacks it down the line, it's not a very good shot, or your opponent is take too much risk. But if
yeah,
you play a good shot and your opponent does exactly what he's supposed to do, which is playing diagonally, as like waiting for the same, like you're calling the diagonal,
yeah.
I'm doing exactly what you're asking for. So be there. Don't invite me to a
Well,
party and let me play
well,
alone,
I don't want that. I don't want what you just did.
Yeah,
I'm just
but you have to deal with that. Okay, let's go.
Ah,
Good.
oh. Yeah, good.
Good. Oh, that you're late. So you're playing. I flicked this ball. I was a bit late for the return. You play to the middle. Very good spin. I didn't have too much. I didn't have enough time to do anything better than just giving it back to you. You play in the middle. I'm gonna probably play to the middle again. You're supposed to understand that I have a problem. I was late for the first shot. I was late for the second shot. I'm not doing anything good in this situation. I was just trying to survive. Means you have to get ready to move faster and keep the pressure on. And you were just too slow after a backhand. You were comfortable. I was rushing here, and you stay too comfortable waiting, and then you were late for your forehand, and that was the problem. You were I had problems. You put me into trouble, and then you just stop playing, and like you're being too kind. When you put me into trouble, you have to make it worse in every single shot. Otherwise, you just give me a chance. You're just late. So you see your opponent moving out of balance or something like that, be ready to keep the pressure on. That just be aggressive. This is the time to be aggressive when your opponent is defending. Your opponent is hopeless. just keep the pressure on. You don't need to force and send the fastest shot of your life, but you have to move fast and keep the pressure on.
Okay.
Don't give your opponent a chance to recover after a good shot or some situation where your opponent is already in trouble.
Oh, good shot.
It's okay.
I wasn't ready. Even that one, I reached.
Yeah, but that
it
was a good spin. It was a good spin.
Yeah, it was a good spin.
Yeah,
but...
it was a good spin, and then you spin on top of it, and you lost control. Maybe if it's possible, well, you tried, but it's hard. If you block that one just a little bit flatter, that would be easier to control the spin. Right?
Yeah, I'm thinking I have to move fast, but my natural shot is to do that. So I'm meeting a really fast ball with spin. Maybe I shouldn't have,
Yeah, the spin was higher. Maybe you misread the spin, and then you just think you just thought like, okay, I'm gonna just but it was a good spin. It was a good spin. Yeah, you go.
Maybe I shouldn't be on 90 frames a second.
Good. Just check my area here. Okay.
Oops. 90 frames a second, I'm telling you.
Oh, maybe.
All right.
Sorry. Me.
No. Woo.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're going to torture me. Let's try that again.
Oh, no, yeah. There's a short serve here without any backspin. Was like pure side spin. I can try to play slow and probably long to a backhand, and then I'm exposing my backhand side. If I have enough time, if I can get close to the ball soon enough, I can flick there and just like start a forehand diagonal rally. That I tried those two serves, but I failed the flick. But that was the intention, because the serve is calling to this diagonal actually. And if I feel that I cannot handle this diagonal, then I can even flick slowly to your backhand against your spin and try to survive this way. So there's not many options. The most aggressive one would be like just flick diagonal. Right? So you have to be aware when you serve like this, if your opponent is going too fast towards the ball, it's gonna be on your forehand probably.
Yeah, I feel like I was doing work on the ceiling for a couple hours, so my arms are a little bit like wobbly, but I feel like these serves I'm hitting, most of them have been too high. Like I'm doing what I want to do, but let the ball high.
Let the ball drop a little bit. Take it more closer to the table height. It's gonna be better probably. Everything's moving here. Let's go again.
Okay. That was way off. I missed the ball by a lot on that. That was not even close. I don't think.
Yeah. If you're calling this diagonal, you're not allowed to play and relax in the middle here waiting for a backhand. You're calling for the forehand. You have to back up what you're asking for and just prepare. If you prepare your forehand and anything goes wrong, you can always like swing your hand under here and just play a normal backhand. You're gonna have time for that. But if you play cross court and you're not ready for the second one, you're here, then you're gonna be late probably.
Let me switch back to 120 just in case.
Yes.
Just some of these are really off.
You see,
maybe I need 45. I need like 45 frames.
Oh no. Oh, good. Space for that, yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
good.
Good, but I probably shouldn't be hitting a backhand right here, right?
Well,
like,
you worked.
it was a good play. It was a good play.
You know, probably my block would be going like over there, but it's always better if you create some space for your forehand. Because if I block a little bit more to the middle, which was possible, then your backhand over there, that wouldn't be good to move like to the center. It's gonna it would be probably weak. Yeah. But it worked. That's okay. It's not a bad idea. It's just like if you turn this into a habit, then your opponent's gonna check you and block on the other side probably, and then you have problems.
Yeah. Good.
Good. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yours. Yeah, then you have a problem. You see? Then you have a problem. Yeah.
And also, this shot, if I were here,
that would be way more powerful, and you would have the whole table. Moving towards the forehand with the backhand to play cross court this diagonal, it's very tricky. You almost just have this kind of a down the line to my backhand as an option. And I was there actually this time. I missed the table, but you would have a long way to cover after that. Yeah. And this is not really good.
I need to trust my forehand.
Yeah, if your legs are very stable, if you open your right leg to attack the first forehand, the backspin ball, and you don't lose your balance, you're ready to step back and keep playing forehand. But if you go there and you relax too much, you're gonna fall to the side, and then that corner is open, and you only have that backhand to backhand, like. Yeah. No, it's not really good. Oh. better. That's better.
But you know what? I was like not loose at all. My whole upper body was tight. I was like really tightly trying to swing at
Yeah.
that ball. I was not
Yeah.
fluid at all.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Relax.
so much to remember. So much to remember.
It's not a matter of remembering. Is creating this muscle memory when you're supposed to relax, where you're supposed to be after a shot. It's like a matter of training, practicing, and reminding yourself every time you make a mistake. Say, no, 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 I'm supposed to relax the shoulder. I'm supposed to, I don't know, bend the knee a little bit more. I'm too tall. Maybe I'm supposed to jump to the other side instead of staying there. You have to remind yourself again and again. And then at some point, it becomes a little bit more natural. But we make these kind of mistakes all the time. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we just fucked up.
When I hit this first forehand over there and I jump over, I don't feel like I'm in a strong position to attack. I feel like I'm in a position to kind of push. Like I don't know if I don't have my feet right or if I'm not down, but I feel like it takes a lot just to do a really strong one sometimes. Like I feel like I'm just not in a proper position to really hit the ball. Like
maybe
I'm not
because
sure why.
maybe because you're too tall after the first shot. Maybe
Yeah,
because and you don't need to attack cross court and stay like around this area covering the short diagonal. You just need to be aware that attacking this way, maybe I'm gonna block in the short diagonal, maybe would be an option because of your spin, because of the trajectory, everything. And then you have to just be aware that if it goes, you have to be ready to jump to the short diagonal if you need, but it not necessarily being there, because the long diagonal is always the easiest spot to block, right? The table is just longer this way, right? And then if you attack and get ready for the second forehand, knowing that maybe you have to jump to the short diagonal, if you're ready to do that, that's okay. This is good. And then you are closer to the center of the table for the second forehand. You
Maybe
have
that's
you have good pace, good space also for the long diagonal. And if the ball ever goes to the center, you always have the option of moving left and keep playing forehand. You can play a backhand if you want, that's okay. But you're close to everything. If you jump too much the corner, uh, hoping for only a short diagonal block, then the long diagonal you'll be playing backhand. The middle you'll be playing a weak backhand because you're gonna have to move. And if I ever block slow to the other side, then you have a problem. You know,
That
it's
makes
just
sense.
like understanding. Like it's different on the backhand side. On the forehand side, if you attack the first ball cross court, the short diagonal you can always jump and cover because you can stretch your arm. You can cover more area. On the backhand side, though, if you're close to the center of the table and you attack cross court, you have to move more towards this short diagonal because you cannot play the backhand sideways like this. You cannot cover this
Yeah.
area. So you don't have too much time and space. So you have to move more, or at least face the diagonal, not facing the table here, just like facing this way. But on the forehand side, not necessarily, but you have to understand that it's very likely that the short diagonal or a fast long diagonal is coming, and you have to be ready for the forehand, because playing a backhand is super easy. You just need some wrist in front of you. That's okay, you survive. But on the forehand, if you just use some wrist in front of you, it's going to be very weak because the wrist here is not very good.
Yeah.
So you need to open the arm, open your hips to the side, turn the body, get ready to put some power on. So you need more time, but you have more reach. So there's no perfect.
No, that makes
situation.
sense. I think maybe when I do know to go over, I think I maybe go over a little too far.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get stuck with these weird backhands right here.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I can really crank on a forehand. But if I was more like here, somewhere here, I could maybe do this better.
Yeah, and always ready to jump and cover that area if you need to.
Yeah, because unless you hit a really fast low ball, usually there's plenty of time to come
Yeah,
over
of
and
course. Yeah, and that's if your opponent
that
kind
just
of
happens.
blocks really fast to the corner, you clap, that's okay, he's great. Or maybe your first attack wasn't that powerful. Maybe you can attack deeper, and then your opponent is not playing around with this ball. If you attack too short, it's easy for your opponent. He's closer to the net. If he gets to the ball at the right timing, he can block everywhere, and then you're gonna have problems. But if you attack deeper, it limits your opponent's options as a blocker. You know. So maybe it's this: if your opponent is like playing amazing on top of your attack, either your attack is not good enough, you have to improve. You spend more energy maybe on the first spin, or maybe your opponent's just great or taking too much risk and it's working. If it's taking too much risk, keep doing. He's gonna miss. Eventually, he's gonna like giving you some free points. It's not a problem. But if he's really good on that, then you cannot. Maybe you realize in the middle of the match that you cannot attack at that spot because it's gonna kill you every time. Then you have to attack to the. You have the whole table.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. You. Good. Yeah, you see, I'm here. You attack in the middle. I'm using my backhand. It's easier for me to play slow to that corner because the corner is open. Then if I play slow to your forehand, I would have a problem because you're already there. I'm just trying to
Well,
play.
I feel like I'm carrying 2 bags of groceries or something. I'm like slow.
Yeah.
Slow. Like I need to
keep one bag and just get rid of one, and that would be easier. Go.
All right.
Good one. You see, this is the problem. Receiving in the middle. Every time you receive to the middle, your opponent has the whole table. Because the way you move there with the backhand, I was hesitating, like forehand or backhand, and then I was late for the backhand. If my receiving was like a little bit more towards the backhand, I would be would be ready in this way. So receiving to the middle, like I did, like slow, like not very aggressive, it's a problem most of the time because your opponent's going to be on time and he has 2 diagonals actually in the middle of the table, but especially 2 diagonals, so you never know what's going to happen. If you play to the middle, you have to try to find the elbow of your opponent, and you have to be more aggressive. It has to be deeper, faster, to put your opponent in a situation that's not very easy to play the whole table. It's going to be slowly, probably, or something like easier to manage. Like I did, like this is just a bad sentence. It's not really nice. Go. Oh, this is the perfect receiving.
Teach me that.
If you learn this, you're safe.
Sorry.
That's okay. Good.
Ooh. Oh,
yeah, that was good. That was good. Good rally. Come on.
Oh, my eyes lit up.
You see, this attack, for example, was much deeper than the other ones.
Yeah.
And even if it was slow, it was hard for me to find the angle. And if your opponent is struggling to find angle and timing, means he's gonna play as safe as he can. I try to play like long diagonal or center of the table because it's just like it was too much, you know. Let's do more. We have time for probably one more or two. Let's go. Good. You see, you were not covering the short diagonal, but you were ready to jump there.
Jump there, yeah.
Enough. That's enough.
And it's like I can't hit it hard, but I can spin it. I could spin it pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. Good enough.
Oof. 90. No.
Good. Let the arm go.
I'm trying to muscle that. I'm not hitting it right.
Yeah, let the arm go. It's too short.
Yeah.
The wrist is perfect, but for a backspin, just let the arm go because even if this ball lands, it would be too short and too easy to block. Just allow your arm to run free.
What?
That one, you're too far. Your right leg is too far from the ball. The ball was kind of a half long, and your right leg was too backwards. Like you're supposed to go this kind of a shot. You're supposed to place your knee kind of under the table to get really close to the ball. Otherwise, you don't have angle. If your leg is far from this shot, your body is gonna be tall, and your arm goes like no power, but just go up like this. Is not really a good shot. You have to, if the ball is half long, is almost double bouncing and you want to attack, you have to be really low, really close to the ball in order to get the proper angle. If your head is too high, then it's going to be, it's not very easy to find this angle. And it's going to be passive probably. It's going to be more like a control and no power.
Oh, there it is.
That's a good one.
Quest 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get ready. You're calling this shot. You're not allowed. You're allowed to be late on any other shot, but this serve, not this one. This is the only thing I can do aggressively. And you're asking for it. It's your serve. You decide to do this. No one forced you to take this decision. So you have to serve and get ready. You don't need to move to the corner if you wanna kind of set up for your opponent, like serving this way and intentionally leaving that corner like open. But you're not allowed to be late. You have to get ready. This is the first option. You have to get ready to jump in and cover this ball and be aggressive, because the right side spin is forcing me to play fast over there. If I play slow to the other side, you have time, but you're not allowed. You just have to get ready with your right leg to jump, or even with your left if you have to cover more area, but you have to get ready to play over there. This one, for example, the curve, the ball, you serve right side spin. If I'm using my backhand and controlling, I'm going against your spin. So the trajectory is going to be left, your left.
So I was doing that.
Yeah, but maybe if you missed like 2 or 3, very close to this, like missing the ball. Probably because you're not waiting for the trajectory to end. Wait
Okay.
a little bit longer. You have time. It's a slow shot.
Yeah.
You have time. Wait for the trajectory just to make sure. You don't know how much left side spin I could generate on the shot. Wait and then play. If you go too forward, remember that 3 stages to hit the ball, like off the bounce, there's no trajectory. At the end of the trajectory, and anything in between, let's say it's a risk. The trajectory can trick you, the amount of spin can trick you, you know. So it's possible, but it's harder. So this case, you didn't have time to play off the bounce, of course, but wait for the trajectory, measure, target, find your angle, you know, and play. And no rush. I'm playing slowly, so you have time.
Mm-hmm.
Good. That was risky, but yeah.
That was really.
Yeah.
Not what I was trying to do exactly.
Good.
Good.
But that was good.
That was good.
Yes.
On those kind of ones, am I putting it right where you think I'm going to put it?
Yeah, I'm expecting this because it's just the long diagonal is always the easiest choice.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm betting that you're gonna attack the second shot exactly where I am. That's why I moved there. You didn't see me just jumping to the ball. I was already expecting because I know it's the easiest shot for you. If you want to play with more power, that one would be the easiest shot. Then it's up to you to maybe use a little bit of a side spin to play shorter diagonal, or to open the angle a little bit and play more to the center, or maybe control everything, like slowing down but playing like down the line and make me move, and then you also move to your backhand and restart. You reset the battle here. It was a diagonal, forehand diagonal battle. You can reset on to the other one. But every time you play the easiest shot, if your opponent is smart enough, he's going to be waiting for that. If it was a much harder shot, I would probably miss it. The counter I would have to block from here. But I felt like I could try to I was winning. It wasn't like a very hard situation. I wasn't under pressure, so I was like, okay, if he comes here and I have time to counter attack, I'll try. If I miss, I miss. That's okay. And then you did exactly at the right spot I was waiting for. I tried and it worked. But if your opponent is beating you, counter-attacking you every time, which is not the case, but it was just once, but that means your opponent is taking too much risk or your attack is not good enough. And even like that, you have other spots on the table to play. Just a small change sometimes changes everything. So you have the center, you have other spots, and you can play with more power maybe. It depends on what's happening, but you have other options. If that happens all the time, I remember I was playing one of the matches I played with Hurricane recently, and I was having problems like attacking with a good amount of power. My top spin was a bit high, and he was countering most of the time. And he is known for this good forehand counterattack, so that's okay. It's expected, but it was too much for me. And then I was trying to attack more to the middle or maybe more down the line. It's riskier for me. It's even less power, but if your opponent is just doing wonderfully at that corner, you have to change. You have to try something different, right? Unless I could find a way to time this ball better and attack with more power. Every time I could do this, and then he was missing and I was scoring, or he was just blocking, and then I could keep attacking. So it's really, there's no simple solution, but according to who you're playing, if your opponent is taking too much risk, keep doing it. But if your opponent is really good on that, you need to change something. You need to play differently, right? Otherwise, you go.
Oh no.
This is good.
Ah,
Oh, good. Wasn't expecting that.
Sometimes
Yeah.
out here is good. Sometimes.
That was good. That was wonderful. Good solution.
What was that serve you did? That serve was
I was
crazy.
basically dead. I tried to do some reverse pendulum, but I suck at it. It was basically
It
dead.
seemed like it did some kind of jump, like
Yeah,
a.
it was a little bit of a top spin maybe, but it's not really. It's not really good. I was just playing around a little bit. Good one. I was too back. I was too far from the table on both sides. The first one I could control, and then I was expecting something like more powerful. You controlled again. It was hard. The spot was harder. It's not on my backhand. It's more in the middle. You see, so you don't need to be powerful all the time. If your opponent is back there and cannot do much, if you control, change a little bit, make your opponent move a little bit, sometimes it's more than enough. Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to mix up more. Just doing that, just getting a solid shot in play and being ready for something, and not just
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
Good.
Good one.
Oh,
Good one. Too far from the table again.
too far.
Your right leg.
And I was
Your
so
right
tight.
leg.
I was.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily your whole body, but your right leg should be closer to the ball on the backspin shot like this.
okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
just too hard to find the angle.
I was like tight too.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I wasn't quite intending that high of a trajectory.
That's good.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Good. Oh, good.
Those high ones that are deep are hard. Like they're kind of hard to hit. When it bounces and then it's up here really fast. Like for me at least, it's like.
Yeah, I felt like it was a bit late for that, and then I missed it. But yeah, it was a good trajectory. Not because it was high, but because it was deep. If it was lower and deeper, as deep as it was, it would be even better.
That's why I have trouble with a couple of guys that really block and they get some good spin on it and it bounces here and it comes up and I'm swinging up here and I have to do it like 4 or 5 times in a row and it's hard for me to get a lot on it. And
yeah, if the ball, if this high topspin is after backspin ball, then you probably should just wait and block because probably there's a lot of spin.
Well, no, this is like. This
but
is
if the ball was
okay.
already like a top spin and the guy was like spinning, looping like very high and deep, you can counterattack for sure, but you have to really be on top like a high racket and just be on top of the ball, brushing well forward. Because if you lower your racket a little bit, the ball is high, and then at the end you're gonna add even more arc to the ball, and then you miss the table.
This is the defensive guy who gets to everything, and he always gets just a little bit on it, so it goes high. Ooh,
yeah,
got a light right there. Goes high, so it bounces here and comes high, and I can put spin and control it pretty well, but usually he gets to it. So sometimes I'm doing a lot of these, and it's hard for me to put it away unless it's short. If it's short, I can, but sometimes I put it over there, put it over there, put it over there.
Yeah, but if you make him move, you're winning the point. I mean, you don't need to finish the point just because the ball is high. Sometimes the guy, if you play Ifaton, for example, if the ball is high, that doesn't mean anything. He's gonna get the ball back to you. Yeah. You don't need to force too much and finish. Don't feel bad if you don't finish the point just because you have a high shot. So if this other guy, like he's good on working and on this and playing again, like keeping the ball on the table with some spin. You have to be patient, but keep the guy moving, and eventually you're gonna score the point. We have a guy on the group. I think he's from Canada, Brooksy 22. He's a really good, fun guy to play. Like he's going really well now. He's close to your elo probably now, and he's one of those guys that move a lot. Also a tennis player, and he moves a lot. And he plays away from the table, and he has really good defense, always with a little bit of a top spin or something like that. If you take for granted and just try to kill, and you're gonna lose the match. If you're not patient enough, make him move and change your shots a little bit, make it trickier. He's gonna be there all day, like defending.
Well, usually I do pretty good because I can place it pretty well, but after 4 or 5 of them, usually it ends in a frame, some kind of framing, hitting the ball. Something bad.
Keep your racket high. Keep your body active, because if you're late, you cannot be aggressive. Keep it high, moving towards because if the ball is high, you have time to prepare and move towards the ball. Don't use only your arm, otherwise you're gonna over-arcing the ball. Move your body forwards a little bit more.
I think that's what I'm not doing, is moving forward. I think I'm just trying to muscle it.
Then you need your left leg on the forehand side. You need your left leg jumping on top of the ball, like hitting the ball with your body. You have to feel that your body is going there to hit the ball. The arm is just a detail. You just need a good angle. Okay, yours. Exactly this kind of a shot. That one was what you had time. The ball was good, but then I felt like you did like too much up unnecessarily. Your head has to go down when you have a high ball. It's like just like a smash. If in tennis your head stays where it is, and then you just hit with the arm like this. But in table tennis, because of the spin and everything, you need to move your body forward and down when you have a high ball. Smashing, you end up like lowering like this, because if you stay too tall, probably your arm is gonna play too long. You need your body to drive this ball forward a little bit more.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Good. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
That's a perfect one. Oh. No. Sorry. Okay, great. I'm gonna post this on my YouTube page and send you the link, so you can watch later the matches and all the conversation and everything. So it's gonna be useful probably. And just pay attention on your positioning, and like if you are out of position, or if you feel kind of this easy shots, if your body is really moving towards the ball where it's just arm. So when you see yourself playing this way, in general, we feel bad about ourselves, like, oh my God, like I cannot play that ugly. But it's just a good way to process in your mind and say, okay, I have to be more active. My legs are not moving. My body's too, I'm getting too, I'm too slow, or maybe I'm not thinking straight, this kind of a thing. So when we watch, it gets clearer. So I hope it helps.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, my friend. See you next week.
Good luck with your Quest 2.
I'm going to give it another try. I'm going to give it just for a week or so. And if not, I'll give up. Quest 3 is on the way now. I found a way to get through the border. Probably it's going to be in 3 weeks, hopefully. I found a border specialist. If you know what I mean. So let's see if it works. Hope so. And then let's see, maybe next month I can...
Some money out of your wallet situation.
Exactly. Some it's the Brazilian way to do things sometimes, because the government is not our friend most of the time, so we have to find solutions. So
Yeah.
hope it works, and then maybe next month, and I'll have the quest 3 to try. Let's see. How it goes.
If you have a chance, look up. I don't know where I am in the payment.
This is
What
the
week
first
we're
one.
in?
This is the first one.
Oh, so I haven't paid you though.
No, that's okay, but this is the first one. Just
Okay,
for you to know.
okay.
The last
right,
week was the last one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right.
See you, my friend. See you soon.
Next time.
Yeah.